안녕. 잘 지냈어? 오늘 무서운 영화 얘기할게. So, since it is almost Halloween, what is it, 2.5 weeks now? Something like that. I decided to put together a list of good, scary Korean movies. Get in the spirit of being scared, and let me tell you a little bit about them. 시작하자. 하나 is something that I know I've talked about before a couple of times. I don't care. I'm mentioning movies that I've mentioned before already because I like them so much. It's A Tale of Two Sisters, and it is about two sisters that get let out of this hospital place. They don't really explain what it is. Mental hospital kind of looks like. And they come home and they don't get along with their new stepmom that their dad is married to or with or something. And they get all stressed out and they fight with her all the time. And creepy things start happening in the house. Really creepy things. Toon is a movie series actually. It's called the Whispering Corridor series, or the Haunted School, or the Ghost School, or the Haunted Ghost School series, Ghosts, Hauntedness. I've heard it called so many different things. 1998 is when it started, and a lot of people credit this movie, the first one, to starting the scary Asian horror movie trend in the world. Even though a lot of people say that The Ring is the one that did that. I guess you guys can just fight over that. It's got 5 different movies that came out a couple years apart. And since 2009 there hasn't been a new one, so I don't think that they're going to make any more, which is sad because I really like these. They're all about schools. They all take place in a school or in a school environment, school kids. It goes Whispering Corridors, and then Memento Mori, which was my least favorite. I didn't really get it. Wishing Stairs, which was my favorite, which I actually watched before any of the other ones. And then it goes Voice Letter, or just Voice by itself. And then after that is A Blood Pledge or A Suicide Pact. They're all very, very good. Like I said, I think Wishing Stairs is the best. So I'm going to show you guys a little trailer for just Whispering Corridors, the first one, right now. Now the third one is called, well, it's actually 2 movies. I wanted to put in the first and second one, Horror Stories. And it's fairly new, came out in 2012, the first one, and then the second one came out in 2013. And they're basically a bunch of Korean directors that collaborated together to make a movie with some short stories in it. So each story is directed by a different Korean director. And I really, really, really like movies that do this, that put like short stories in it. Because if you don't like one, it's gonna be over soon anyway. So it's like, okay, might as well just watch it. Like instead of a long movie where you're like, oh my god, is it gonna get good or not? I have to wait like 17 years. But here is a trailer for the first one.
살고 싶어? 그럼 얘기해봐. 무서운 이야기. 극도의 공포가 비색깔까지 바꾸지.
네. Now, number 4 is a movie that I recently rewatched. I think I've watched it like 4 times now. Isabel's really into horror movies, so I decided to watch this with her before KCON. And she liked it. It's called APT, or Apatit. And it's really disturbing. Excuse me. It's really disturbing. Some of the scenes are like really unsettling. So I don't know if I should give this like a trigger warning or something. I'm on the fact that I'm on the fence about having a trigger warning just tells you that you should just be careful. It's about this girl who lives in an apartment, and the complex across from her, the lights go crazy at like the same time every night. I think 9:56 Yeah, 9:56 because that's actually another name for the movie. At 9:56 every night, the lights just start going crazy, and then someone dies every night, and it's like, oh God, what's happening? So she goes and of course, has to go investigate herself and figure out why everyone's dying. So, yeah.
생각해보면 밤마다 여자가 느끼는 소리가 났어요. 무서워.
5. Number 5 is Bestseller, and it came out in 2010, so it is, I guess, fairly new. I guess you can say that, fairly new. It is about this woman who writes books, and she's told to write another one, or God, it's been a long time since I've seen it. She's told to write another one, or she wants to write another one, so she goes to like the secluded cabin to like get away from everything, and she'd be like, okay guys, I'm just gonna write, okay, I'm just gonna just take a breath, take some time for myself, and just write some stuff while all this creepy shit is happening to me in this cabin. So she starts writing, and something writes it for her, and it ends up being like plagiarized. I said that word really weird. Plagiarized, and because of that, like she gets in a lot of trouble, and then things take a dark turn from there, and I'm not gonna give anything away, but there's definitely stuff to give away in that movie, so I'm just gonna stop.
근데 언니 왜 자꾸 같은 말만 해? 언니 여기 살아? 2층에?
6 is one of my favorites on this list because it was so unexpected. I was expecting just like a run-of-the-mill, like, oh, woo, so scary, oh my god, there's blood, there's a girl with long hair in a dress. It's like, okay, yeah, I know, it's whatever. Like I watched that in the background of doing homework or something. But this one actually I have to pay attention to because the storyline's really, really surprisingly good. And it does obviously center around a woman who plays the cello, and she has a daughter, and this freaky stuff starts happening with this cello, and she's like starts losing her mind and like starts going crazy on her own. And again, it's one of those movies that I can't give too much away. The ending's really good. Is Loner, or Orphaned. I guess sometimes it's called Orphaned. And this movie was also another one where I watched it because somebody told me to watch it, and was not expecting it to be that good because I read about it and I was just kind of like, seems kind of like every other movie. But I'm glad that I decided to end up watching it because it ended up being really freaky. Like really, there were some scenes in it that were pretty creepy. This girl, like, she stays stuck in her room and she won't come out. Like, no matter what her family asks her, she just will not come out of this friggin' room. And she gets all creepy in there and, like, starts going insane and, like, you know, you see where this is going, so, yeah.
나야, 얘기 좀 할 수 있겠니? 순아야. 순아, 히키코모리 초기 증상 같은데. 요즘 집안에 무슨 일이 있었던 거죠?
순아야.
Yodel is Killer Toon, and I think this is, yes, this is the newest one on the list. Came out last year, 2013, and this is probably the most unique storyline. A movie about this woman who writes comics. She writes those and draws them and figures out the plot and everything, and then it turns out that like all of her plots and like her scary manga, whatever, drawings are coming true. Like people are dying in the way that she's drawing her stories. And people are like, you be the killer? You be the murderer? And she's like, oh my god, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. You know, what are you gonna do? You're drawing the freaking murders. So everyone gets all suspicious and everything gets really creepy, and the way it's done is very unique. Especially the beginning. The beginning I thought was, oh god, the beginning sucks you in. It's so creepy. It's good.
유명 작가의 그림대로 살인 사건이 벌어지다. 딱 그림 나오잖아요.
내가 그들을 죽일 이유가 없잖아요.
Oh, is Probably the most disturbing movie on my list, only because it's basically a torture movie. Usually I don't find those that scary because it's just torture constantly, you know? It's not constant torture. It's got scariness and torture in it. And the horror in it is not like ghosts and everything. It's like real life horror. Like this could happen. Ugh. It's about a sister who gets kidnapped and her sister goes looking for her and everyone's like, oh my gosh, haven't seen your sister anywhere. What you talking about? I'm gonna put a trigger warning on this one because there's torture. And I can't remember exactly what happens during that, but like it's pretty intense and it's pretty, you know, so just be careful watching this movie and who you watch it with and how young they are and everything because it's pretty intense. Yeah, but it's very scary.
누구 없어요?
그 집 아저씨 어떤 사람인 줄 알아요? 남한테 싫은 소리 한 번 못하는 착한 사람이야. 의심할 사람은 의심해야지.
요즘 뉴스도 안 보세요? 멀쩡한 사람이 나쁜 짓 많이 하잖아요.
강아야, 어딨니?
Yol. And I know I've mentioned this one before too. This is probably my third time mentioning this and I don't care. I love this movie. I own this movie. It's called Voices, and I know I mentioned before there was another movie called Voices, part of the Whispering Corridor series, but this is different. This is Voices, or it can be called Someone Behind You, but in Korean it's called Tu Saramida, which is like kind of gives away some of the movie, to be honest. If you don't know Korean, I'm not going to tell you what that means. But it's about this girl who just all of a sudden literally all of a sudden, her life is totally normal and then just suddenly everything's just like really scary. Creepy things start happening to her, things are grabbing her out of her locker, like everything, like the ambiance of the movie is like creepy, like a lot of slow, suspenseful scenes and like scenes that are making you like cover your eyes and stuff. And I know that I would appreciate somebody telling me these things because I don't like gore at all. This movie's very gory, and I know you're probably like, well, if you don't like gore, why did you watch this movie and why do you like it? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't friggin' know. I don't know. This movie is extremely gory, but I still love it a lot.
아무도 믿지 마. 그나마 좀 살 수 있을지도 몰라.
행복해하는 언니를 보면서 문득 언니가 죽었으면 하는 생각이 들었어.
Johanna is... Oh, I need a breath before I describe this one. I know that you guys are going to be like, oh my god, what the hell? I get it. I was the same way when I heard what this movie was about. I know. It's called The Wig, and it's about a haunted wig. But wait, don't laugh. I know you're laughing right now because I'm about to laugh too. It sounds so stupid, right? It's a haunted wig. Like, what are they gonna come up with next? No. No. This is a good movie. So good. So creepy, so disturbing. There's one scene that's sticking in my head. Whenever I think of this movie, I think of this one scene. And if a movie can get you to like have one scene stuck in your head and make you just like, every time you think of it, like that's a good movie. This girl has cancer and she gets a wig as a gift, and the wig happens to be from somebody who, it's been a while since I've seen it. The wig is haunted. The hair comes from somebody who like died in vain, and so the hair that was made into the wig got haunted, and so it's like on her head, she like goes crazy and stuff.
나 다시 태어난 것 같아. 언니, 봤어? 금방 그 버스.
Yodel. This one is called Yoga, or sometimes called Yoga Institute. Yoga Hagwon. I would say it's probably the least scary on this list, but it's very interesting. So I don't even know, like, how do you explain interesting? I don't know. But it's like, it keeps your attention. Like, all these girls are like really pretty and have like perfect bodies, and you're just like, why? Why don't I have that? Maybe it's because you don't do yoga every day. I do yoga hagwon, maybe. But it's basically a haunted yoga school. And again, I know that might sound a little silly, but somehow it is pulled off in a really, really good way. Okay, and actually one of the former members of SES is in that movie. These girls join because they want to become beautiful. Everyone wants to be beautiful. Everyone's going to join the yoga institute that says that you're going to be beautiful. And turns out that the institute is a little tiny bit haunted.
반드시 지켜주셔야 할 금기사항이 있습니다. 먼저 여기 들어오신 이상 외부와의 연락은 일치할 수 없습니다. 수련 중에는 허락 없이 음식을 섭취하면 안 됩니다. 목욕이나 샤워는 금물입니다.
Your set is... Dear God, what was your set? Cinderella. And this was... I can't remember if it was Cinderella or Old Boy, which was my very, very, very first Korean movie ever. Ever, ever, ever. I'm pretty sure it was Cinderella. I'm like 80% sure now that I'm thinking about it. So that should tell you a lot about this movie, that it sucked me into the Korean movie world. It is about this girl who is like freaking rich because her mom's a plastic surgeon and like offers plastic surgery to all of her friends, and whenever a friend gets, or whenever anyone gets plastic surgery from the mom, like something just happens to them. They get like possessed, or they end up like harming themselves, and it's really creepy and really weird. And the mom has like this deep, deep, dark secret that she's not telling anyone, and that's the reason why everyone starts to get all crazy and haunted once they get plastic surgery by her.
방학 전이랑은 뭔가가 달라졌어. 뭐랄까, 다이어트? 성형의 힘?
내가 예쁘게 고쳐줄게. 광대뼈를 낮추고 조금만 고.
Yolnet is Bunshinsaba, and I feel like this is another one of those movies where like everyone's already seen it, but then again, it can't be possible that everyone's seen it, so I wanted to add it to the list, just like A Tale of Two Sisters. Sometimes it's called Ouija board. It creeped me out so much. There's so many creepy scenes in this movie, like the way it's shot, the way it, like the atmosphere of the whole movie is just, it reminds me of kind of like The Ring or The Grudge, where there's like a girl with long hair, you know, pale skin and everything, and she just keeps appearing in places. Creepy! These girls are bullied by other girls in their school, and they decide to take a Ouija board and summon like a curse on these other girls because they're like, no, you ain't gonna be like making fun of us. And one of the girls opens her eyes during the summoning and becomes like possessed. So. And last but not least, my friend, is a movie that I have mentioned to you before a few times, and it is Yoltasot. That's the number, not the movie name. It's Possessed. The movie's called Possessed, and it's, I love it. I love it, I love it. This girl, her little sister goes missing while she's off at college, and she comes home and is like, whoa, what the heck, what's going on? Everything's like crazy. Her mom is acting really weird, and she can't find her little sister. Her sister just ran away. The cops are like barely helping them find her. And there's a lot of like shamanism and everything in this movie, like religious stuff that's like pretty creepy and pretty unique actually. Like if you don't know a lot about shamanism, this movie will kind of, I mean, I'm sure it's not the best way to find out about shamanism, but it'll kind of open you up to like what it is, and you know, the possession side of it, because that's actually a big part of it. So as the movie describes, this movie is about possession, yes, and it's a movie that you do need to pay attention to, because if you don't, then you'll like lose track of what's going on in the movie. There's like one scene where like she opens up her mouth, which I am actually about to show you right now, but she like opens up her mouth like really wide, like creepy wide, and I was just like, ooh. I liked it.
얘가 분명 보통 사람은 아닌데.
그 눈이 어휴 사람이 아니야.
그럼 그냥 가만히 있을 거예요?
가출한 중학생 찾는 거예요. 아셨어요? 에?
Thank you guys so much for listening to my list of movies for Halloween this year. I hope that you guys take a moment to watch some of them and comment below if you have seen some of them, or if you decided to watch some and what you thought. Just please no spoilers or anything, because some of these movies definitely are full of spoilers and you don't want to do that. Also, if you have a scary Korean movie that you would like to, you know, let everyone know about, then let me know, because I'm always looking for scary movies. Always. I love scary movies, especially Korean scary movies, because then I can practice my Korean. 잘 가.